They killed 23,000 of them last year in shelters, just in the United States. Not because they were sick, not because they were dangerous, because nobody wanted them. The breed is a pit bull, and in 40 countries, owning one is a crime. England banned them in 1991. You can go to prison for 6 months just for having one in your house. Germany requires a psychological evaluation before you're allowed to own one. In Denver, if animal control finds a pit bull in your backyard, they can seize it and euthanize it within 72 hours. No trial, no appeal. The dog just disappears. 600 American cities have some version of this law on the books right now. And the reason they'll give you is always the same: public safety, dangerous breed, protecting children. Here's what they won't tell you. Breed bans don't work. They have never worked. Calgary, Canada studied this for 20 years. They banned pit bulls in 1990. Dog bite rates went up. Toronto did the same thing. Bites went up. The UK banned them in 1991, and hospital admissions for dog attacks have doubled since then. Doubled. Because banning one breed doesn't stop bad owners, it just makes them buy a different dog. After pit bulls got restricted, Rottweiler attacks spiked, then Akitas, then German Shepherds, then Cane Corsos. The cycle never stops because the law is targeting the wrong thing. But here's the part that makes people uncomfortable. Pit bulls are responsible for 60% of fatal dog attacks in the United States, despite being only 6% of the dog population. That's not propaganda. That's CDC data. Between 2005 and 2020, pit bulls killed 380 people. No other breed is even close. Rottweilers are second at 51. So what's true? Are they misunderstood family dogs being persecuted by bad laws, or are they legitimately more dangerous than every other breed? Both. Let me explain. A pit bull bred by a responsible breeder, health tested, temperament tested, raised in a stable home, and trained properly, is statistically as safe as a golden retriever. The American Temperament Test Society tests thousands of dogs every year. Pit bulls pass at 87%. Goldens pass at 85%. But that's not the dog killing people. The dog killing people is the one bred in a backyard by someone who wanted a tough-looking dog and didn't care about genetics. The one kept on a chain in a yard for 3 years with zero socialization. The one bought off Craigslist for $200 because it looked cool. The one rescued from a fighting ring with neurological damage baked into its brain from birth. And here's the ugly truth nobody wants to say out loud. You can't tell the difference by looking at them. A well-bred American Staffordshire Terrier from a reputable breeder looks identical to a backyard-bred pit bull with dog aggression in its bloodline. Same head, same body, same face. You cannot look at a dog and know whether it came from a line that's been temperament tested for 5 generations or from a guy named Kyle who breeds them in his garage and sells them on Facebook Marketplace. So the law does what laws do when they can't figure out the nuance. They ban the whole category, and the whole category includes 10-year-old therapy dogs who've never growled at anyone, puppies that haven't done anything except exist, and dogs sitting in shelters right now who will be euthanized this week because their head is shaped wrong. Meanwhile, the actual dangerous dogs slip right through. Because the people breeding unstable animals just switched to Presa Canarios, or Dogos, or Cane Corsos, or American Bully XLs, which are now getting banned in the UK because 3 people got killed by them last year, and the cycle starts all over again. 40 countries looked at this problem and decided the solution was genocide by bureaucracy. Breed them out. Let the bloodline die. In 20 years, there won't be any more pit bulls, and the problem will be solved. Except it won't. Because the problem was never the breed. It was the people breeding them without standards, selling them without screening buyers, and owning them without training. But you can't ban bad owners. You can ban a dog that looks scary. Here's the cost of that decision. Shelters are full of pit bulls. 75% of dogs euthanized in American shelters every year are pit bulls or pit mixes. Not because they failed temperament tests. Most of them pass. They die because nobody adopts them. Insurance companies won't cover them. Landlords won't allow them. Cities have banned them. And even people who love dogs scroll right past them on Pet Finder because they've been told for 30 years that these dogs are killers. A Labrador and a pitbull can sit in the same shelter, same age, same temperament score, same training level. The lab gets adopted in 3 days. The pitbull sits there for 6 months and then gets euthanized to make space for the next one. The irony is that pit bulls were America's dog for 100 years. Sergeant Stubby, the most decorated war dog in U.S. history, was a pit bull. The RCA dog on all those old record players. The Little Rascals dog, Petey, pit bull. Helen Keller owned one. Teddy Roosevelt owned one. They were considered the best family dogs you could get. Then the media narrative flipped in the 1980s. And suddenly the same breed that was on war bonds and cereal boxes became public enemy number 1. What changed? Not the dogs. The people breeding them changed. The people buying them changed. The reasons people wanted them changed. And instead of regulating breeders, instead of requiring training, instead of holding owners accountable when their dog attacks someone, we just banned the dog and called it progress. 40 countries, 600 American cities, tens of thousands of dogs dead every year. And the dog bite rates haven't moved. That's the breed they banned. The one that's both the problem and the scapegoat, depending on which dog you're looking at. The one we can't define well enough to regulate properly, but we regulate anyway because doing something feels better than admitting the law can't fix this. England's ban has been in place for 33 years. They're still euthanizing pit bulls they find. They're still having fatal dog attacks. And now they're banning the next breed because the first ban didn't work. At some point, you'd think someone would notice the pattern. There's a pit bull getting euthanized somewhere right now while you're reading this. Not because it bit anyone, not because it failed a temperament test, because it's been sitting in a kennel for 4 months and the shelter needs the space. Tomorrow someone will buy a Cane Corso puppy from a backyard breeder who doesn't health test, doesn't temperament test, and breeds for size and aggression because that's what sells. That dog will end up in the same kind of home that would have produced a dangerous pit bull 10 years ago. And in 5 years, when the Cane Corso bite statistics start climbing, some politician will write another law banning another breed, and we'll all pretend we solved something. The cycle doesn't end. It just moves to the next dog with a big head and a scary name. 40 countries figured out how to ban a shape. None of them figured out how to ban irresponsible breeding, negligent ownership, or the kind of person who wants a dangerous dog in the first place. So the pit bulls die. The statistics stay the same, and somewhere in England, they're already talking about which breed to ban next. Maybe the question was never whether pit bulls are too dangerous to exist. Maybe the question is why every failed solution keeps getting called progress. Because after 40 countries, after tens of thousands of dead dogs, the attacks still haven't stopped. What do you think? Comment below and subscribe for more.